Hello students, welcome back to my channel. In this video you will be learning about uniform linear motion, uniform circular motion, centripetal and centrifugal force. So let's start. Consider this ball. If I throw it by applying force from this direction, the ball will start to move in straight line. This type of motion is called linear motion. Now, if I take motion of this ball at particular instance, for example, let initially ball be at point A, then it moves to point B, then C, and finally at point D. Let the distance between A to B be 5 meter, B to C be 5 meter, and C to D also be 5 meter. If the ball takes same time interval, that is A to B, let it take 1 second. From B to C also it takes 1 second, and C to D also it takes 1 second. Then we can say ball travels equal distance in equal interval of time. Such type of motion is called uniform linear motion. So here speed is equals to distance upon time, which is equals to 5 meter upon 1 second equals to 5 meter per second. Now velocity is equals to displacement upon time. For linear motion, since there is no change in direction, speed is equals to velocity. So velocity is also equals to 5 meter per second. For uniform linear motion, velocity is constant. So acceleration is change in velocity upon time, but since velocity is constant, the change in velocity is 0, therefore acceleration is 0. Hence, uniform linear motion is not accelerated motion. Now let's move to uniform circular motion. We know moon revolve around the earth with constant speed. It travels equal distance in equal interval of time in circular orbit. Such motion is called uniform circular motion. So, when a particle moves with a constant speed in a circular path, its motion is said to be the uniform circular motion. Let's learn more about uniform circular motion. Take a stone or a ball and tie it with a strong string as shown here. Suppose I hold the string at point O and start to whirl it about point O like this. You can see the direction of stone changes at every point of circular path. So, at each instance, what is the direction of velocity of stone? Let's see. Let initially stone be at point A. The direction of velocity of stone at this point will be towards west tangential to circular path at point A if the stone is moving in clockwise direction. Now, when the stone reaches at point B, its direction is towards north tangential to path at point B. Similarly, when it reaches at point C, the direction of velocity of stone is towards east tangential to the circular path at point C, and when it reaches point D, its direction will be towards south tangential to the path at point D. So you can see, even though the speed is constant, the direction of particle changes at each point of circular path. Thus, velocity of particle performing uniform circular motion is variable. Hence, uniform circular motion is an accelerated motion. So, what's the difference between uniform circular motion and the uniform linear motion? In uniform linear motion, speed and velocity are constant. Acceleration is 0. That is, uniform linear motion is an unaccelerated motion. In uniform circular motion, speed is constant, but velocity and acceleration is variable. Hence, it is an accelerated motion. We know force is equals to mass into acceleration. So, if uniform circular motion is an accelerated motion, there will be some force acting on it. Let's see where is the force acting and at what direction the force is acting. So here is the same stone tied with the string and the arrow shows direction of velocity at each point. Now if I rotate the ball or stone, while rotating, if I cut the string at this point, the stone will fly off in the direction of velocity of stone, that is tangential to the circular path. So, what force was holding the stone from flying off? What was responsible for the stone to follow the circular path? So, here you can see when the stone is tied with the string and rotated, the stone, instead of following the direction of velocity shown by black arrow, it moves inward at every point to follow circular path. That is, there is some force which is acting radially inwards towards the center of circular path. This force is called centripetal force. Centripetal means center seeking. So, centripetal force is a center seeking force which is directed radially inwards towards the center. Here, the centripetal force is provided by the force of tension along the string. This was the reason that when I cut the rope, the force of tension ceases to act and the stone no longer follows circular path. Instead, it follows the direction of velocity. Let's see another example. Here we have a merry-go-round. A man denoted by blue is sitting in center of merry-go-round and a man in green is observing from outside, that is from the ground. A ball is tied with a strong string attached to it at the center of merry-go-round. Initially, when the platform of merry-go-round is stationary, the ball is seen stationary and the string is loose. As the platform starts rotating, the string becomes tight due to tension in it. Now, when the merry-go-round starts rotating, the blue man as well as the ball rotates. For blue man, at each instance, the ball is right in front of him. That is, ball seems stationary to the blue man. Whereas for the green man observing from outside, there is some force acting on the ball radially inwards towards the center of the merry-go-round. This force is responsible for the circular motion of the ball. This force, which acts on a body radially inwards towards the center of circular path, is called centripetal force. Now, in the same experiment, when the merry-go-round is rotating, the ball and the blue man is also rotating. Suddenly, if the string breaks, the green man observes that the ball is moving in a straight line along the direction of velocity when the string broke. What is the observation of blue man at this point? Let's see. Just before the string broke, the ball was just in front of the blue man. Let the point at which the blue man is sitting be A, whereas the point of the ball be P. So the distance between the blue man and the ball is AP. Now, when the string breaks and the ball reaches P dash, the ball is still in front of the blue man, but the distance A dash P dash has increased. Further, when the ball reaches at P double dash, the ball is still in front of the blue man, but distance A double dash P double dash has increased more. And similarly, when ball reached point P triple dash, the ball is still in front of the blue man, but this time A triple dash P triple dash distance has increased further. Thus, for blue man who was observing from rotating frame of reference, there is a force acting on the ball radially outwards, due to which ball is going farther away from him. This force assumed by an observer moving with the body to act radially outward from the center of the circular path is called the centrifugal force. Here I have used word assumed because there is no such force acting on the ball, but it is just observed or experienced by the person in rotating frame. For the green man observing from the stationary frame, there is no such force acting radially outwards. He sees the ball is moving in a straight line. Hence, centrifugal force is a fictitious force. Still confused? Let's take one more example. Consider this car which is moving in a straight line and suddenly takes turn. Here, the direction of car is along the circular path. The force of friction acting upon the turned wheels of car and the road provides centripetal force required by the car for circular motion along the curve. This centripetal force acts inward towards the center of circular path, but the direction of velocity vector is tangential to the circular path as shown in figure. Now the person sitting in passenger seat of car is in the inertia of motion. So the upper part of the body of passenger tend to move along the direction of velocity due to inertia. But the lower part of the body of passenger which is in contact with the car will move in circular path with the car. Due to this, the person at passenger seat experience a force which move him outwards. This outward force experienced by the passenger is called centrifugal force. Here is one more example of roller coaster. When cart of roller coaster moves in a loop, the centripetal force is provided by gravitational force, or you can say weight of the cart. Centrifugal force is directly proportional to square of the velocity. Hence, to prevent the cart from falling, the velocity of cart is maintained high enough to provide required centrifugal force. Another example, when the moon revolves around the earth, the gravitational pull of earth provides centripetal force for moon to move in the circular path, and the force of inertia due to the velocity of moon provides required centrifugal force. Now, centripetal force is equal to centrifugal force in magnitude, but opposite in direction. Now let's see the difference between centripetal and centrifugal force. The centripetal force is the force acting on a body moving in a circular path in a direction towards the center of the circular path. Centrifugal force, a force assumed by an observer moving with the body to act on the body in a direction away from the center of the circular path, is called centrifugal force. The direction of centripetal force is along the radius towards the center of the circular path, whereas the direction of centrifugal force is along the radius outwards from the center of the circular path towards the object. Now, centripetal force is a real force, centrifugal force is a fictitious force. Example of centripetal force, the force on earth revolving around the sun, or you can write the force, gravitational force of the earth on the moon is the example of centripetal force. Now, centrifugal force, force experienced by person in passenger seat in a car while car moves in a curved path. That's all for this video. If there is any doubt, please write in the comment section below. Thank you.